Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing great. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video if you like contents like this. But I'm in a parking lot right in front of my community. I was heading to the grocery store, but I was like, let me just go ahead and pull over, put some lotion on my legs because your girl is ashy and my feet are very ashy as well. So I was like, let me just stop around here and chat with you guys and let you guys know what I've been up to. So yeah, from the last update video that I did, I let you guys know on the majority of what I have been up to, including me going on job interviews and all that. That's still going on, not as frequently as I would like it to be, but I've been able to land a few interviews left and right. Some have been going well, others not so. And I just wanted to just kind of share with you guys some things that have just been slowly revealed to me as I'm going through this process of interviewing and potentially finding a new job. A lot of it is just like things that I've realized about my nursing path in general. I'm seeing all these jobs, all these wellness director jobs. I am very reluctant to applying to any of them, even though I know some are very nice communities that tend to have a good reputation, but you don't know until you're like part of a company, right? Until you're employed and you're able to see things for yourself. So I've been staying away from applying to those. So the kind of jobs that I've been applying for, I applied to home health, to a few home health companies around my area. Not with much excitement. I don't know. It would be something nice to do as a nurse. I've never done home health as a nurse before. I've done it as a CNA. But I don't know. It's just not, I haven't been that excited. Like I would love to be excited about whatever it is that I get into next. So yeah, home health, it's like, yeah, let me apply. It will be nice, My main reason for applying to home health would be for primarily schedule flexibility. I think it's very appealing that I can work on whatever days that I am available to work, but also with that, I think being a home health nurse also requires you to be somewhat on call a little bit, especially if it's like patients that are assigned to you. I don't know if I'm ready for that per se. Nonetheless, I applied to that. I also applied to a rehab facility that I would go to all the time. I would mention about this rehab facility in quite a few of my work vlogs as a wellness director. This place is clean, so professional. I know the educator that works there. She was one of my nursing instructors. So it was just one of those things that I felt, okay, well, it's going to be an easy hire. So I applied there. I let her know that, I put in an application, and a few days later I got a call to interview. And I went on the interview, y'all. I got there. I had to wait a little bit for the manager to come in to greet me, but as we were walking to her office, someone across the hallway coded. So things got real crazy. Showed me to the office, and she's like, I'll be right back, and so she runs to the incident, and the patient was fine, and the nurse who was taking care of that patient, she lost it. I mean, you could hear her crying in the hallway and everything, and I felt so bad for her. She sounded very overwhelmed. It was almost like a ticking bomb. That was the last straw. Is that all of her coworker, including the manager that was going to interview with me, they all surrounded her and they supported her, and they told her to just take a break, and that they got her covered. And I loved that sense of teamwork. Was it was a good first impression for someone who was coming in to interview, to potentially be part of that staff. That was a great first impression. But anyway, so we interview and we get to talking, and she lets me know a little bit about the facility. Interestingly enough, she told me that the students that come to that facility to do clinicals are actually students from the school that I graduated from. So that was pretty interesting, because we definitely didn't get that experience. Our clinicals was everywhere else but that kind of rehab. Like, if my clinicals was that kind of rehab, I think my experience and my overall take on clinicals would have been a lot different from what I got. But anyways, so the interview went well, and then after that I met up with my former educator, and we kind of talked, and she's like, yeah, this will be a great place for you to work at. And she asked me what my schedule was, and so I told her that most likely I would be available to only work like certain days during the week, just because I'm trying to work with my husband's schedule. And so she was like, that's going to be a little hard, because they're looking for people primarily on the weekends, nights for sure, and then some days, some morning shifts. And so I felt a little bummed about that. But I also went on another interview. This one was for a remote position. The first interview went well. They told me that if things were to move on to the next steps, then I will be scheduled for a second interview. So still waiting on that. Going on so many interviews, and I'm realizing that, when these employers, I guess, when they see my job applications and they see that I've been a nurse going on 3 years and I don't have any bedside experience, it's kind of like, it's almost like trying to convince them that even though I don't have the bedside experience, I'm still a good candidate, right? Especially for this most recent one. It's for basically chronic care management. And when I think about the route that I've taken so far as an LPN, I've been basically in the chronic care management realm, right? Even as a CNA, given medications, overseeing a medication management program as a CNA, and also as someone who was certified to give medications, like part of my job, actually the majority of the job, was to manage these chronic conditions, because I was the sole person, 12 hours on end, managing these people's meds, responding to emergencies, communicating with pharmacies and providers and all that. As a CNA, working in facilities, numerous facilities, even working with a home health company, I have helped managed chronic conditions. Like, that is my thing. Working in long-term care, specifically in senior living, you are surrounded by chronic conditions. And so I mention this because I have felt almost like a sense of lack, like not fit for certain positions that I'm applying for, because I don't have the bedside experience. And let me tell you something about me. I will apply. It's going to say 3 to 5 years bedside experience required, preferred. Like, I will apply still, because one thing about me is I don't limit myself. If I want something, I go for it, because you just never know when your break may come. You'll never know until you put yourself out there. So because of that, because I've had this mentality going in and applying for these jobs, I've had to kind of explain to people why I'm the perfect fit for certain roles, even though I don't have the required or the preferred bedside experience. And I've basically found a way to let them know I am on the preventative side of nursing. And with that, I let them know all the things that I've been exposed to, basically letting them know, look, I don't need to be at someone's side when they're absolutely sick for me to know how to manage someone with certain chronic conditions, right? So that's been very interesting. And it also caused me to realize that I am not a bedside nurse, and that's okay. And I think I realized that while I was in nursing school, doing clinicals at hospitals, doing clinicals in nursing homes and rehabs, like, I am just not that nurse. I'm not into sick medicine, even though the heart of being a nurse is to take care of people. For me, it's not at the bedside that I feel the most fulfilled. Or why I felt a little guilt behind that, because, let's face it, in nursing school, they basically train you to work at the bedside. They're not going to introduce you to any other settings out there. It's the bedside. It's going to be either nursing home or hospital or rehab. So, to go through nursing school knowing that deep down inside that I was not going to end up in some of these facilities, I kind of fought those feelings a little bit. But in the wake of me applying to these jobs, I've just definitely realized that it's not for me, that my nursing career has taken on a different route, and I'm completely okay with that. A lot of the time you'll hear people giving advice saying, start at the bedside, start here, gain your experience, fortify your nursing skills. You don't want to lose these skills. But without also keeping in mind that some nurses don't need those kind of specific skills. Like right now, with the route that I've taken, with the jobs that I've had as an LPN, I haven't needed to know how to insert an IV, because they don't apply to the jobs that I've had, that I am going after. And even if later on down the road, because never say never, even if later on down the road I decide to maybe, pick up a PRN shift somewhere at a facility, there's always room to learn. Nobody ever starts off a new path, a new career, a new journey knowing everything. You are always going to be a student of life. So the idea that some nurses say, oh, well, you don't want to lose your nursing skills, you don't want to lose yes, you don't want to lose those skills if your niche is to be in a bedside setting. Then yeah, go ahead and fortify your skills, become an expert at your skills by all means, because it's going to make you a better nurse. But for me, who's been on the outpatient side of nursing, I don't necessarily feel the need to know those skills per se, or just to strengthen those skills. I hope this is all making sense, you guys. But not that I have to sell myself in a creative way for some of these jobs that I'm applying to, but to just really highlight my qualifications, highlight my experiences, so that my lack of bedside experience does not overshadow the experiences that I've had. Because I've got outpatient experience in a doctor's office, I've got management experience in a senior living, dealing with people with chronic conditions. So I have a different type of experience from a preventative side, from a management side. My niche is in managing and making sure that this specific population does not end up in a hospital to where a bedside nurse would have to take care of them. And I love that. And I hope this is a realization that's going to allow me to propel even forward in that kind of area of nursing in the future. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. There is nothing wrong with not wanting to be a bedside nurse. There's nothing wrong with not finding a niche at the bedside. There is absolutely nothing wrong, because the beauty of nursing is that there is so many different avenues, so many paths that we can take in nursing. And I don't necessarily believe that you have to start at the bedside in order to land wherever you'd like to be, eventually. So that's one thing, the whole bedside thing. If these employers would stop asking for references from previous management only, y'all, it's just, maybe it's because it just kind of triggered me because of the job situation that I just came out of. But to require someone to to give contact information of a previous manager from like 3 jobs ago, it's like, what do you expect this person to say? What if you didn't leave things on a good note? What if you burned a bridge and now you're needing to contact this person because you need them for a reference? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Granted, I'm very grateful that none of my previous employers, I've never left them, on the bad note. I've never burned any bridges. But like, I'm just saying, for people who have walked out or just quit same day without saying a word, like, what do you do? What do you put on your applications? What do y'all tell these employers? Like, do you just make up names for, previous managers? Like, what do you do? Because all of my previous jobs, I've actually quit them. It's like, why would you want to find out good things about me as an employee from a previous manager who probably felt some type of way about me leaving to begin with? Like, I just feel like for some people it might be counterproductive. Like, it may hurt them more than help them get a job, because I know there are some managers out there who are very petty. I personally don't think that the future of my employment should partially rely on a former manager. At least give me the option to choose whether or not it's the manager or a coworker or a colleague that I'm referring, that's going to serve as my reference, and not just strictly demanding that I give you either a supervisor or a manager for reference from all of my previous employers. Like, that's a little annoying. But anyways, so that's what's been going on, you guys. The saga continues. I am still going to continue to apply to these jobs and go on these multiple interviews and continue to pray that I land something that is for me, Anyways, let me go ahead and start on these errands. Thank you so much for watching my video. All of my new subscribers, I see y'all. Thank you so much for subscribing, and I hope that you guys are enjoying my content. If there's any videos, any content, any topics that you guys would like for me to cover, please leave it down in the comment section below. Like this video if you enjoy content like this, and I will see you guys next time. Please take care of yourselves as always, and yeah, bye y'all.